You know the picture. A cave mouth, a fire going, furs on the floor, bones in the corner, painted animals running across the rock above. Somebody's home, that's where they lived, and then one day they came out, and that was the beginning of everything else. Almost none of that happened. Because a cave is a terrible place to live, and your ancestors knew it better than you do. Think about what one actually is. It's a hole in rock. It's dark past the first few meters, and it stays dark. It's damp. Water made it. Water is still coming through it, so anything you own is quietly rotting. It's cold, and stone doesn't hold your fire's warmth. It drinks it. It has one way in, which sounds like a fortress. Until you meet the thing that also thinks it's a fortress. Hyenas want it, cave bears want it, and a cave bear stood taller than you with its feet on the floor. The cave was on the market long before you got there, and the other bidders had claws. And the problem underneath all of that. Caves are where the rock is. Limestone country, cliffs, gorges, but food isn't where the rock is. Food is at the river mouth, out on the plain, along the shoreline, at the place the herds cross. A cave is fixed and the food moves, and a person who insists on sleeping in a cave has to walk back to it. Every single night, from wherever the food actually was. So why is the picture in your head? Because of what a cave does, not for the people, for the evidence. A cave is a box with a lid. Dirt drifts in and settles and never washes out. Nothing scours it, nothing plows it. Drop a bone in a cave and the cave keeps it for 200,000 years, layer on layer, in order. Now drop that same bone on open ground. Rain gets it, wind gets it, roots crack it. A river shifts, a farmer plows it, a city gets built on it. It's gone, not moved, gone. So the record you have isn't a record of where people lived. It's a record of where things survive. Unless something goes wrong in exactly the right way. In 1989, a drought and a lot of pumping dropped the Sea of Galilee about 9 meters. And something came out of the mud on the southwestern shore that should not exist. Donnie Nadell, an archaeologist at the University of Haifa, has spent decades on it. What's down there is a camp, not a cave. A camp on open ground next to water. 6 huts. You can still follow the line of their walls in the dirt. You can still tell which plants they were built from, by name. Tamarisk, oak, brush, weeds. Around them, hearths, a grave, storage pits. The site burned, then the lake rose and swallowed it, fast, and sealed it under silt. That fire and that flood are the only reason you get to see it, and what they preserved is this. On the floor of one hut, there is grass, not scattered, laid down. Bundles of it, arranged in a layer, in a defined patch, against one part of the wall. Someone made a bed. 23,000 years ago, somebody cut grass, carried it inside, and put it where they wanted to sleep, and then did it again. Because there's more than one floor down there, stacked. It's the oldest bedding ever found. 11,000 years before anyone planted a seed. There is nothing exceptional about these people. They are not a lost advanced civilization. They are ordinary, and that is the entire point. Because if the ordinary people at the edge of a lake built huts and made beds, then so did the ordinary people at the edge of every other lake. You just don't have their lakes. Their sites are under a city, or a field, or 4 meters of river silt, or nothing at all. Then it goes further than huts. In 1965, a farmer in central Ukraine was digging out his cellar to make it bigger and hit a mammoth's jawbone. What was under his house was a settlement, 4 structures, round, up to 24 square meters each, and they are built out of mammoth. Hundreds of bones and tusks, stacked into domes, skulls at the base, set deliberately. Jawbones interlocked along the walls, curve into curve, the way you'd stack roof tiles, tusks arching over the top. A hearth in the middle of the floor, and storage pits sunk into the ground outside. Recent dating puts the biggest of them in the coldest, hardest stretch of the last ice age. Around 18,000 years ago. Not a lean-to thrown up for a night. Something heavy enough that the bones alone weigh hundreds of pounds each. Hauled and fitted and roofed, and possibly kept in use, on and off, across generations. That's not shelter, that's architecture. And it's older than farming, older than writing, older than the wheel, built by people you were taught cowered in a hole. So look at the cave again. The cave was real. The cave got used for a night out of the rain, for a place to leave the dead, for a wall to paint on, for storage, for a season when it made sense. It was a tool, one facility in a life spread across a whole landscape, and it was probably not their favorite one. The reason it's the only thing in your head is that it's the only thing the ground bothered to keep, which quietly rewrites the question. When did humans stop living in caves assumes there was a period when they did, and a moment when it ended, and something changed to end it. There wasn't. There isn't. Nothing changed. They never stopped. They never started. The thing that changed wasn't your ancestors. It was what survived them. So when you picture that cave mouth with the fire in it, understand what you're actually looking at. Not a home, a filing cabinet, the one dark corner of the world where the paperwork didn't burn. Their real home is the bed of grass, the dome of bone. The hut wall you can still read the species of 23,000 years later, because a fire and a flood happened to hit it in the right order. Everywhere else, they built exactly the same things. And the rain took them.